guys, what's up? It's Healthy Thrower. So I just wanted to come on and make a little freshman in college advice video. So it's been a few years since I was a freshman in college, but these are just kind of things that were told to me or that I wish I would have known or that I learned along the way that have really helped me as a college student and especially freshman year. So yeah, thanks for watching and yeah. Okay, so my first piece of advice would definitely be to join 2 groups. So you could join more if you want, but my piece of advice would definitely be to join one group that has to do with like athletics, moving your body, yoga, whatever, and then one that has to do with school. So if you're already a college athlete, that would be like your moving and grooving one. You could join the CrossFit team, the lifting team, the yoga class, the spin class, just something that keeps you active, so then you have the accountability to stay active. You get to meet people who have similar interests. Like I feel like for me, sports has always been like the main way that like you can bond with someone and make friends and get to know people. So like if you join a group that keeps you active, like, or club sports, I know we have like club rugby, club soccer, club lacrosse. We have a spike ball club too, which is pretty cool. I see them practice sometimes. So yeah, join something that gets you moving, and then join a group that has to do with your academics. So for me, I was in a FIG, which stands for First Year Interest Group. And so I met a lot of my friends freshman year through that, and it definitely helped hold me accountable for classes. So in our FIGs, 3 classes together, and one of them, or like 2 of them are just regular like freshman classes, and then one of them is like specifically like 30 freshmen who have, so I had 3 classes with the same group of like 30 freshmen and my roommate. So that was really helpful because then it's like anytime I needed help with an assignment, I could text someone in that group. And we'd have group study sessions, so that definitely held me accountable because if I knew a group study session was coming up, I'd want to like make sure I knew the material, and so that really helped me stay up to date with academics. So yeah, those would be 2 groups to definitely join your freshman year. Based on my experience and what really worked for me would be to have your athletic group and then your school group. So yeah. My piece of advice number 2 would be that literally everyone wants to make friends. No one really goes into college, as far as I can tell, who doesn't want to meet people. You know, like you are with a giant group of freshmen who all want to make friends, who all want to get to know people and are like away from home. Like even if you're going to school with someone who's like literally from the area, been there their entire time, it's like they're still like being introduced to a whole new world. Everybody there is new. There's no freshmen who have like already been through the exact same thing that they're going to be going through this year. Same with like transfer students, like it's a whole new experience. And so like someone told me this and it really helps me like branch out and be like, hi, I'm so and so, like how are you? It's to just know that everybody wants to make friends. Like every single person is in that boat. No one's, you know. So if you go up and say hi to someone, like chances are, even if you're not like friends with them, like they're not going to think you're weird or anything because everybody wants to make friends. And so definitely like those first few weeks, like just go for it. And so yeah, definitely just like know like everybody wants to make friends. You're not alone in that, and so putting yourself out there like is definitely worth it. Alright, my 3rd piece of advice would be get to know your dining halls. So like a lot of times like freshman year it's kind of like awkward, like you're not eating it out of your home kitchen anymore, you're going to the dining hall, and so everyone's eating at the dining hall, and so that can be kind of like hard to meld into. But if you in the first few weeks go to all your dining halls and kind of like ask the people who work there like, oh, like how do I go through this salad bar, like can I have this soup, and like have someone like just ask questions of like how the dining hall works and like if they have suggestions and stuff like that. So like I know it took me like 6 months to go to one of my dining halls on campus, and it turns out they have like amazing salads there, and I literally ate there for the rest of the year. But I just never really knew like how to go up to the counter and order the salad, which sounds really silly, but I don't know. That's something that for me was hard. And so I think like if you go in those first few weeks and just like get to know your dining hall, get to know the options, and then that can be super helpful later. Like if you get tired of one of them, you'd be like, oh well, I know this one's good, has good pasta or whatever. So that was something for me that was hard, was like, okay, I've eaten at the same dining hall for the past 3 months, like I want something different, but I don't really know how the other dining hall works. So just like getting to know the dining halls and knowing the options I have. So like if I'm in the mood for a salad, I'd go to that one, or if I wanted, you know, a sandwich, I'd go to a different one, or a smoothie bowl or something like that. So that would have been super helpful for me my freshman year, to have just kind of gone to know the dining halls a little bit better. So another piece of advice would be, the more specific your questions are when you go in to see the professors, the more helpful it has been for me. So it's like, if So like if I just go in and I'm like, oh, I'm struggling with this chapter, it's really hard for them to help me because they don't know exactly like what I'm struggling. They don't know what I learned in high school. They don't know what I learned in my previous math classes. They don't know if I see a tutor. But like if you go in and you say like, specifically I'm struggling with this, it's always been really helpful for me to like tell them specifically what I'm struggling with so then I can get exactly the help I need. So it's like before you go into those tutor sessions, like if you just take a minute to be like, okay, like circle the things that you didn't understand in class, that was really helpful for me the past few years, especially like getting into higher level math, like just being like, okay, in this specific example, like I lost track when the professor did this today, like can you help me figure out like what happened in these steps? And so yeah, the more specific I can be when I need help in my tutoring, the better it has been for me. So that would just be another piece of advice. Also, I would just say personally, I really enjoy school events. I have a lot of school spirit, and so the more events you go to, I think the better my experience has been. If you can like, you know, like even someone from class be like, oh, are you going to the basketball game? Like we should go. A lot of times you can get student tickets for free. And so the more events I go to, the more appreciation I have for my school, the more connections I make, and just like the overall more that I like it. So it's like cliche, get involved, but it's like, it really does like help appreciate, and the more you take advantage of your school, honestly, the better experience I've had. There's been terms where it's like I barely leave the library in my dorm and practice, but then when I do get out and enjoy the school a lot more, I enjoy the area that my school's in, the more I like it, and then in turn the more successful I've been. So yeah. So then my last piece of advice would just be to remember that like people want you to succeed, and so odds are like, this sounds cliche, you've probably heard this at 1,000 freshman orientations, but just know like there are so many people who are rooting for you and who want you to like do well. Like there's tutors who are literally signed up, applied, and paid to help you with your homework. There's literally so many of your classmates, like they want their school to be seen good. Professors want their class to be seen as good. So it's like everybody wants you to succeed. And so just like knowing that for me personally helps me a lot. Like when I go into the tutor system, like knowing like, oh, I'm not necessarily a burden. Like these people are literally signed up to be tutors. Like they didn't have to do that. Like they want me to do well. And like my math professor's assistants who I see, like they want me to succeed. Like it looks good for them as it does for me. Like they don't want to see me like fail or struggle. And so to know that like people want me to succeed has definitely helped me in my college career. And so just like knowing like I'm like, if you go to office hours, like you're not a burden, like that's what the professor is there for. And so yeah, those are really like my main pieces of advice as far as like college freshmen that's come to mind that I am glad I knew, that I wished I knew. So yeah, I hope that you guys have a great first year of college, or if you're watching this and you're like, I can apply this to high school or my junior year of college or graduate school, like that's awesome too. So yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, good luck.